we also have to think about the lessons that's going to go out for the Shabbat class and for the people, and how we're going to make sure that everybody get it. And now I see my brother Prince Kaz, he's warming up. So I know he's got a good lesson for us. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom, family. All righty. Yeah, I'm going to stand right here. So what you might want to do, like I always say, get your notepads, your papers, your pens, because we're going to get busy. We got a little bit we want to talk about today. Just a little bit, not much. So nobody get mad at me today, all right? You know, Israel got a habit of getting mad at you. What did I name this lesson? Okay, here we go. We named this lesson Balaam, or Balaam. What? Frozen?
No, you good?
Oh yeah, I'm good. I was born cool.
What?
Y'all supposed to laugh, it was a joke. I was born just like everybody else. My thumb in my mouth probably. All right. Giving all honor and praise unto the Most High King of all creation. Asking that He will guide my mind, my spirit, my body, my language, and my speech as I approach unto you, His people. May the Most High be praised. Last week we did a lesson. We did a lesson on the Star of David. It was a very, very interesting lesson. I didn't get through half the things that I had prepared for the lesson. Only got to talk about a few things. And today I'm still not going to talk about the Star of David, Magen David. But when I was teaching last week, I brought up a situation about a man who, I brought up about how the subject came up about witches and warlocks and sorcerers and people who practice divinity or black magic. And a lot of us our minds are given to us by our oppressors. And our oppressors have a way of rhythm that if they consistently teach us or feed us their conception or ideals of things, we gravitate and start to believe that their forms of what they give us are real and truthful and factual. And in the process, I was talking about people who practice what they call black magic, witches per se. It's not that they're not in contact with the Creator. So don't ever think that they're not. Only the Most High can do the things that these people are able to do. But as I went on in my lesson, I explained to you that there's a front door to gain access to the Most High that we, as His children, we rightfully inherit, as long as we walk on the right path and honor and glory and praise unto Him. That those who practice the divination or black magic, they go through the back door. There are two accesses. One is of righteousness, and one is of knowing how to do or gain access like through a broken window in the back. You know what I mean? Only the Most High can do these things. So now, we're going to read today about a man named Balaam. Balaam was a classic example of where I was coming from when I was speaking about the front door or the back door. Some of your books will call Balaam a sorcerer. Some of the books call Balaam a prophet. Depends on the translator or whoever it is that's translated your book from the Ivrit. But there's a lot of things in this story that brings out a significance when it comes to people who can go through the back or people who can go through the front. When we read this story of Balaam, we're going to also read about the history of the nation of Israel, our past, where we were in the time of Balaam, and he's going to give us a little bit of touch on our future and where we will be at in the days when the Most High causes Israel to gain control and rule over the earth once again, once He gives us dominion again to rule all things. Do y'all think we're going to rule all things?
Absolutely.
Do y'all know that it's destined for us to rule all things?
Absolutely.
Are y'all with me?
Okay.
Because y'all know I don't like to talk about myself. I don't talk to myself too often. Too often. I like to talk to myself, but not too often. Like I don't like the whole sentences. I like to just say, yo, just think about that. Yeah, man, I thought about that. Yeah, we could.
That's two sentences.
We could. All right, so let's have a little fun here. But what I need you to do is allow yourself to be taught first. What I mean by that is, if you're holding on to that ideal that you already know and that you already understand, this lesson is not going to touch you. You ain't going to hear it. It's going to be like, oh, well, he'd be quiet and sit down. But if you allow yourself to be taught, open up your mind to new understandings and new things. Let the Europeans, man, doctrine go out the window and take in the wisdom that the Most High have for us. If we open our minds for that, we'll receive something. And I promise you, you'll leave here be different than you came in. And it'll be beneficial for your development. You won't be so judgmental toward things that you don't understand because somebody programmed you to be judgmental against things. So let's try it. Y'all ready?
Okay.
All right. We're going to start in Numbers, the 22nd chapter, verse 1. I want to read something about my brother looking for that. In what's that book called? The Blue Letter Bible. I looked up the word Balaam or Balaam. And what, you got it? You got it?
Sure.
Okay. What they call Balaam, and I want to show you how the European man's mind works. This is what they say about Balaam. They say, Balaam, the false prophet. Why do they call him a false prophet? They call him a false prophet. Why do they call him a false prophet? See, they're trying to put something in your mind. They want you to come in and assume that this
he was
man
a prophet.
wasn't no good. He was a false prophet. A false prophet means when you prophesy something, it don't come to pass.
Right.
People was paying Balaam much money, Kesef, much money to bring curses on people. Now I want y'all to pay attention. They was paying Balaam, good money, kings, to curse an individual or a nation. Now we see that today. What's the first thing we think about?
Witchcraft.
That person is evil. That person committing witchcraft. But if we follow the story of Balaam or Balaam, if we follow that story, he couldn't curse nobody that wasn't on the opposing side of the Creator. So what do you call that? You call it a beating. You call it a correction. You call it judgment. Am I right?
Okay.
But they want you to get this idea that this man, this prophet, who was not of the lineage of Yisrael, was evil. It's something how they do things to our minds. And I believe they say he was from Mesopotamia, somewhere in the Mesopotamia area. All right, so let's read on, please.
We're in the book of Numbers, of Bamidbar, chapter 22, verse 1. Let us all say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on the side of Jordan by Jericho. And Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites.
Now stop for a second. Give you a little bit of history. We were coming into the land, and the children of Ammon refused to give us water. They wouldn't even let us through their land. Matter of fact, we said we didn't want no water. We said we won't touch your crops. We don't want to touch your water. We just want to walk straight up the King's Highway so we can get through your land. He didn't trust us. He didn't want to let us give us pardon to allow us to walk through. They could have set their guards all up. There were so many of us, so much, and they saw we had just destroyed those other nations that they were afraid to let us come through. So he said, oh no, y'all ain't coming through here. So because he wouldn't give us access, the Creator gave us the ability, and we went in and we destroyed all of them. Took it over. So Balaam, he's scared now. I mean, Balak is scared. He's afraid. He's afraid that we're going to come in and do something to him because he ain't as big as those other nations, and he know he can't beat us. So you know what you do with your enemy when you can't beat them? You curse them. What we do to our enemy when we can't beat them, we curse them by going to the Creator. Saying, Creator, we're suffering down here. We're being tortured down here. We need your help. So Balaam, who wasn't dealing with no Balak, who wasn't dealing with the Most High, he went and got a prophet, or they will call him a sorcerer or a witch, to curse the children of Israel. And let's see what happens. Read on, please.
And Moab was so afraid of the people because they were many. And Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. And Moab said,
He wasn't just worried about, he was distraught. He couldn't eat. He couldn't sleep. He couldn't function properly because there was so many of us. He was afraid. He's afraid of what? He's afraid he's about to take his life. Read on, please.
And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, Now shall this company lick up all that are about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak the son of Zippor was the king of the Moabites at that time. He sent messengers therefore unto Balaam, the son of Beor, to Pathor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I wot that he whom thou blessest is blessed, and he whom thou cursest is cursed. And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand. And they came unto Balaam.
What did they do? I'm sorry. They departed with the rewards of what?
Divination.
So they got paid to curse us. They got paid to do what they call magic on us. So they left with those rewards of divination that they were going to utilize to curse the children of Israel. But watch what happens, please.
It says, And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand. And they came unto Balaam and spake unto him the words of Balak. And he said unto them, Lodge here this night, and I will bring you word again, as the Lord shall speak unto me. And the princes of Moab abode with Balaam. And Yah came unto Balaam and said, What men are these? What men are these with thee?
Y'all got to pay close attention to this. I need you to back up to that where you just started when the creator said something. What happened?
And
watch what happens. Because Balaam, they just said it was a false prophet, right? And didn't they just call him, in the book I read, what's that, the Blue Letter Bible? They call him a false prophet, right? Well, who was he communing with?
I'm going to start with me.
Watch who he communing with. Watch, go ahead, read
And he said unto them, Lodge here this night, and I will bring you word again, as Yah shall speak unto me.
He said, set up your 7 sacrifices, and you do what you do. I don't know if that's the part right there, but you do what you do, but I'm going to go over here. And when he go over here, this is what we picking up. Read on.
And the princes of Moab abode with Balaam. And Yah came unto Balaam and said, What men are these with thee?
Now, I want you to see again. Who came unto Balaam?
The Creator.
And
The Creator. The Creator. There's one place in here, and I'm going to wait till we get to that part. But there's one place in here where it says, Ha Elohim. That lets you know he's dealing with the supreme power. Ain't no question about it. But this man ain't even an Israelite.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? He's not even an Israelite. He's a human in the flesh. He ain't no great somebody that's going down in history of doing these great works. But if you watch the story, he did something wonderful. But the problem is we don't see it because they don't teach it. So I'm going to try to bring it out today. Read on, please.
And Yah came unto Balaam and said, What men are these with thee? And Balaam said unto Yah.
He said,
Balaam,
who?
And Balaam said unto Yah.
Who he talking to?
The Creator.
But they tell you witches are evil. They don't talk to the Creator. Let's deal with this. Read on.
And Balaam said unto Yah, Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, hath sent unto me, saying, Behold, there is a people come out of Egypt which covereth the face of the earth. Come now, curse me them. Peradventure I shall be able to overcome them and drive them out. And Yah said unto Balaam, Thou shalt not go with them.
He said what?
Thou shalt not go with them.
He said you can't go. But watch this, because you got to pay attention to what's about to take place, because it'll be confusing. Read that part. He said you can't go, and watch what happens.
Thou shalt not curse the people, for they are blessed. And Balaam rose up in the morning and said unto the princes of Balak, Get you into your land, for the Lord refuseth to give me leave to go with you. And the princes of Moab rose up, and they went unto Balak and said, Balaam refuseth to come with us. And Balak sent yet again princes more and more honorable than they. And they came to Balaam and said to him, Thus saith Balak the son of Zippor, Let nothing, I pray thee, hinder thee from coming unto me. For I will promote thee unto very great honor, and I will do whatsoever thou sayest unto me. Come therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people.
Curse me this people. That's the job of a witch, right? Or somebody who do black magic. And we have to stop allowing them to teach us association with witches worship the devil, the adversary, Satan. They don't worship the Creator. Balaam is getting his information from the Almighty on high. There's a big difference. There's a big difference, but we have to learn to pay attention. When Moses went into Egypt, right? Wasn't it Egypt when Moses went into Egypt? And he had to face these sorcerers who were the Egyptians' people. Mm-hmm. Where were they getting their source of information from?
There's only one source of
Yeah.
power.
Creator.
But they were able to do things, wasn't they?
Yeah.
But then it became a time where the Most High said, you know what? I'm going to put a difference between you and my people. Mm-hmm. And they could no longer do nothing no more, could they?
Right.
Understand, see, this thing about erasing our minds is important. We got to put true, pure knowledge in our understandings of our minds. If we don't, we're going to contaminate a whole lot of things. A lot of people are going to hear this lesson, they're going to turn off, they're going to turn away. It just shows their state of being, where they're comfortable being. They're comfortable living their life, having ideals and understandings that's fed to them by their oppressors, where they can open up the book and get their true knowledge. Mm-hmm. But they won't do that because they want to hold on what's most comfortable to them, and they'll be living in ignorance. We're trying to break that chain of ignorance. And I know it's going to be hard to accept. I know it's going to be hard for your mind to gravitate toward the teachings that you're receiving today. But all I ask you to do is if you see any error, any fault, or any flaw in what I'm doing, present it. But if you say that what I'm saying and what we're teaching here is correct, then you have to allow your mind to absorb pure knowledge, the truth. Read on and let's see what happens.
And Balaam answered and said unto the servants of Balak, if Balak will give me his house full of silver and gold,
His house full of Kesef.
I cannot go beyond
And
the word
Zahar.
of the Lord, my God, to
Then
do less and more.
Then I can't go beyond the words of the Creator. Wait a minute. Do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? He said if Balak was to give me a house full of gold and silver, I could not go beyond the words of who?
The Creator.
The Most High. How many of us feel that way? How many leaders do you know today that stood up for black people or people of color and could not be persuaded by silver and gold, couldn't be brought off? How many do you know? But we call this man evil. We call him a false prophet because we're learning at the oppressors. This man had a great loyalty to the Most High King. A great loyalty. This man dealt in some realms that most of us will be afraid and run from. I mean, think about this for a second. Think about it for a second. This man driving a donkey, riding a donkey, and the donkey start talking, and he turn around and start talking back. They hold a conversation, him and a donkey. How many of y'all, if your dog start talking to you, what you gonna do?
Never spoke to a donkey. I spoke to a couple asses, though.
But you know what I mean? If your donkey starts talking to you or your dog in the backyard or your bird or whatever it is, holding a conversation with you, what are you going to do?
I've been waiting for.
What do you say?
Riley, this is the moment I've been waiting for.
She's different. Princess is different. But she's like me. She's like me. A lot of people are not like that. The average person is going to run. Why am I singling out Balaam? I'm singling him out because he was used to that dimension of space. There is a place that exists where all creation speaks the same language. But it's not in this physical plane that we are accustomed to. Right. It's more in a metaphysical plane. It's when you travel in the spirit realm. When you learn how to meditate and focus on things, even the trees begin to speak. You understand? He was accustomed to that. So it was nothing for him to hold a conversation with his ass.
Okay. Literally.
Nothing. Read on, please. Watch what happens, please.
Now therefore I pray you, tarry ye also here this night, that I may know what Yah will say unto me more. And Yah came unto Balaam at night and said unto him,
One
if
second.
the men come to call thee.
One second. Do you notice that he's doing what Moses did? Every time somebody come to him with a question, he said, well, let me go talk to the maker. I'll get right back to you. Wait right here. Let me go talk to him. That's what Moses did.
Give him glory to the Creator.
Read the story when they found a little boy out in the woods picking up the sticks. Moses said, hold up. Let me go to the Creator. They said, Moses, what should we do with this boy? He's violating the law. Moses said, let me go to the Most High. And then Moses came back with a word from the Creator. Same thing Balaam is doing here. But watch. The one time that it gives the appearance that he's not doing what the Creator told him to do. But you got to be careful and watch it, how it lines up, because you'll think that he wasn't. When in actuality, he wasn't. But it's going to look like the Most High told him to. But I'm going to break it down for you. Just go ahead, read on, please.
And Yah came unto Balaam at night and said unto him, if the men come to call thee, rise up and go with them.
Now pay attention. Watch this.
Well,
If
yeah,
the men come and call thee, rise up and go with them, right?
Right.
But what he gave him some instructions. He said, if they come and they call you, then you can get up and you can go with them. Right?
Okay.
All right, read on, please.
But yet the word which I shall say unto thee, that thou shalt do.
Read on.
And Balaam rose up in the morning and saddled his ass and went with the princes of Moab.
Why? Why did he get up in the morning, saddle his ass, and go with the princes? Who told him to go?
Creator.
The
They
Most
must have
High
came
told
and
him
got
to
him.
go.
Yeah.
If they came and got him, then the Most High told him to go.
Yeah.
That's what you would think. And that's what they want you to think. That's what the average person would think. But if that was so, then why did the Most High do this? Read on, please.
And Yah's anger was kindled because he went. And the angel of the Lord stood in the wait for an adversary against him.
That lets us know he didn't follow instructions.
That means the men didn't come together.
That's
That
right.
means he went to them.
He did his own thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do that. We think we got a word from the Creator, but we're not paying attention. We're not really focusing. We're not really listening. What we're doing is we're going after our own desires. So we kind of like blood out the word of the Most High and say, he said I could go. He never said that. He gave you instructions as to how to proceed. You took it upon yourself to take it up and do what you wanted to do. Watch. Let's see what happens. Read on.
Now he was riding upon his ass, and his two servants were with him. And the ass saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand.
Now the ass could see. There's a story here. It is a great lesson. All right? And I'm going to break that down after we're done if you don't get it while we're reading it. There's a tremendous lesson in here, but people ain't going to see it because they're too busy saying this is a fairy tale. Watch what happens.
And the ass turned aside out of the way and went into the field.
Now-
Balaam smote the ass.
Back that up to the beginning of that verse.
And the ass saw the angel of the Lord standing in the
Who did
way.
the ass see?
The angel of the
The
Creator.
angel. But that angel, Balaam couldn't see. Why Balaam couldn't see the angel, but the ass did?
Because the Creator didn't want him to see him.
Read on, please.
And his sword drawn in his hand. And the ass turned aside out of the way and went into the field. And Balaam smote the ass to turn her into the way. But the angel of the Lord stood in the path of the vineyards, a wall being on this side and a wall on that side. And when the ass saw the angel of Yah, she thrust herself onto the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall, and he smote her again.
Hey, he crushed it. The ass, it was a female ass too. The female ass, it was a female.
Okay.
Say again?
Glad
So
you
the
brought
female
that up.
ass smashed his leg up against the wall. That he getting angry now. He like, this is the second time. Why are you acting a fool? You know how brothers with they females and they ass,
no.
they just start acting
I
a
knew
fool.
you was
They
going
wanna
somewhere
put
with
their
it.
hands on them and beat on them and smack them all around and not trust them. But you know what? The message of the story that we're going, and I'm going to break it down now because I want him to continue to read and it's going to make sense to you. Oftentimes people are trying to save your life. But you are so rebellious because you're blind and you can't see. That you do what is common to you and strike when you disagree. As opposed to shutting up, listening, and allow your thinking cap to come on so that you can possibly see what it is that they're trying to warn you about and tell you about. But we can't. Because we get so wrapped up in our emotions. Oh no, I know already. You can't tell me nothing. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what you're supposed to do for me and to me when I tell you. And then another thing is that we all think we know ourselves. We don't know ourselves. I just told you how when the donkey started talking to Balaam, Balaam didn't question the donkey's actions.
Right.
So he was used to that realm. So Balaam thought in his mind, just think about it. If an angel appears, I'm going to see him.
Right.
The angel came to take his life. The angel had his sword drawn.
Drawn, ready.
Why did he come and stand in the way with his sword drawn? How many angels do you think is around you daily with his sword out, ready to cut you down?
For security.
I like that part.
For security.
I like that part. We're going to deal with the correction side of things, though, right now. He's trying to teach you something, trying to give you something, and then you got people and leaders and teachers who try to come every Shabbat and pour out their soul to give you direction. And then you go back talking about, no, man, I ain't trying to hear what Prince got to say. Oh, no, I'm going to wear my slippers out the house whenever I want.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Who Prince think he is going to tell me not to go outside with no slippers on? I'm not comfortable in my slippers. They're convenient for me. Until somebody jump out the bushes. This is a Goshen thing. You know, Goshen know what I'm talking about because we had this thing all the time. But in reality, people are trying to help you, to teach you, and you reject their teachings because it's uncomfortable to you, because it goes against what you have been taught is right or wrong. The donkey was only supposed to obey his master and not slam his master leg up or fall down underneath his master or go to the side and turn out of the way, other than the way his master's directing him. So when he do something that's against what is commonly done, it's confusing to Balaam. And Balaam reaches out, pop, smacks him, kicks him, abuses his ass. All because he wasn't accustomed to it, to his ass acting in that manner.
Right.
The ass is going to have enough sense to turn around and say to him, have I ever done anything like this to you? He's going to say, no, you haven't. He's going to say, well, don't it make sense for you to ask me rather than beating on me and kicking on me? Why am I doing this?
Right.
But we don't do that. All we do is we attack because it makes us feel uncomfortable. We attack. We attack. We attack. Brothers, I hope y'all paying attention. Let's read on, please.
And Balaam,
Tell us what chapter and verse you're on.
we're in the book of Numbers, chapter 22, verse 25. And when the ass saw the angel of the Lord, she thrust herself into the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall. And he smote her again.
Oh, man, now you hurt my foot.
And the angel of the Lord went further and stood in a narrow place, where was no way to turn either to the right hand or to the left. And when the ass saw the angel of the Lord, she fell down under Balaam. And Balaam's anger was kindled, and he smote the ass with a staff.
Now, think about this for a second. The angel was in the narrow path now. The donkey couldn't go no more up against the wall. And she fell right down on the ground, humbled herself. Think about it. She humbled herself. She submitted herself. And after she submitted herself, what did he do to her?
He graded her.
Struck her with a staff. She was in total. Oh man, you worked so hard to get your ass in order. Now you got your ass right where you want her. And what you do with her? You still
Abuse her.
beating on her. You still beating on her because you're sick and don't realize it. Balaam couldn't see. He was sick. If he could see, he would have that wisdom. He would be able to understand. But he couldn't. The ass was in submission. Total submission. And all he had to do was talk to his ass. Let's say, hey, ass. What's up, ass?
What's up, man?
Why you doing this, girl? Talk to me. Why you acting like this? The ass will turn around and talk to him. Ass was smarter than him.
You gotta stop.
Read on, please.
It says, and the angel of the Lord went further, Salaki, And when the ass saw the angel of the Lord, she fell down under Balaam, and
She
Balaam's
humbled
anger was kindled.
herself.
And he smote the ass with his staff.
Sorry, 1 second. She humbled herself, and his anger was
Angel.
kindled. He got mad.
His anger.
He got mad because she was humble. Read on, please.
And the Lord opened the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam, What have I done unto thee, that thou hast smitten me these 3 times? And Balaam said unto the ass, Because thou hast mocked me, I would there were a sword in my hand,
This
for
sound
now
familiar,
would I
anybody?
kill thee.
Yeah.
This sound familiar? This sound familiar?
Okay.
Now, does it sound familiar to anybody?
Okay.
Yeah. See, I grew up my whole life like that as a young man, watching this type of abuse take place in my home, my mother and stepfather, and whatever it was. And the people, the men, were so foolish, they had not any understanding. But me as a child watching that behavior, thinking that that was normal. And when I became an adult, I repeated those same type of behaviors, those same type of patterns. Every time my ass got out of order,
You are just.
honestly, until one day the
another word.
Most High opened my mind
Okay.
and allowed me to see, and I was no longer blind. And I can see that it's a better way to deal with your problems, a better way to deal with people that you think are actually doing some harm to you. It's a better way to deal with it. First of all, you have to learn communication skills, because a lot of us don't have them.
Right.
A lot of us don't have communication skills. When you've offended somebody, it's only right for you to go to that individual and apologize. When you realize that you were the one in the wrong. I'm sorry, ass. I didn't mean to hit you. Let me talk with you, ass. We can talk
That's
a
gonna be
little
the
bit.
rest of this
Let's try
game.
to understand each other a little bit more so we can learn to get along with each other, because all we got is us.
That's right.
You know, let's see if we can get through this.
And the ass said unto Balaam, Am I not thine ass upon which thou hast ridden ever
Don't-
since I was dying?
don't-
Since I was dying
The
unto
ass,
this day?
the ass said, don't I belong to you?
Exactly.
She said, don't I belong to you?
Right.
You've had me and you rode me since you were little.
Right. Take care of
Right?
me. Right.
Right?
Okay.
All right. That's what she said. Go ahead, watch what happens.
Was I ever wont to do so unto thee? And he said, Nay. Then Yah opened his eyes. Then Yah opened the eyes of Balaam. And
Then
saw
the credit
the-
did what? What the credit do?
Opened the eyes of Balaam.
He
and saw
opened
the-
Balaam's eyes.
And he saw the angel of Yah standing in the way, and his sword joined in his hand, and
What?
he bowed down his head. And
The
fell.
point I want to bring
Flat
out
on
is
his
that
face.
the point I want to bring out is that Balaam's eyes wasn't open until he humbled himself.
That's right.
Until he stopped acting off of his emotions.
Keep going, man. Keep going.
Put the camera up, please.
It's on her already.
You good? You good? The mask
It wasn't until he stopped acting off of his emotions and spanking that ass
You're just, come on.
that the Most High opened his eyes.
That's right.
He struck her several times. And the more he struck her, the more blind he received.
Right.
It wasn't until he stopped striking her and began to do what? Communicate with her.
Communicate. That's right.
And when he communicated with her, he had an understanding, and the Most High did what? He removed the blindness off of his eyes. And he began to see what he did wrong. He was actually striking his ass when his ass was trying to save his life.
Right.
He couldn't see it as long as he was using his aggression, as long as he was using his force and his anger. You know what I mean? Don't tell me about myself. You can't tell me nothing about me. You got me all wrong. You can't see. And it ain't until you humble yourself that you go home and you sit down and you think, well, wait a minute. That girl said this about me. She said that about me. Maybe she's right. Maybe I do need to do some work on myself. Maybe I am nasty in my attitude. Maybe I am disrespectful. Maybe I do talk down to people. You know? Maybe she's right. All right. The Most High opened your eyes. Just like he did with Balaam. Read on, please.
And the angel of Yah said unto him, Wherefore hast thou smitten thine ass these 3 times? Behold, I went out to withstand thee, because thy way is perverse. before me. And the ass saw me and turned from thee these three times.
Stop. The Most High says, thy way was perverse before me. Now I need y'all to hear this because he was just talking to the Most High, wasn't he?
Okay.
Still is.
Yeah. But he was just talking to the Most High as a prophet, communicating with the Most High, but the Most High just said, your ways were perverse before me. That shows you that you can be one way in righteousness and change up and become something else. Because he just disrespected the Most High.
Yeah.
But yet, 2 days ago, he was the man. Here it is a day later, you done fell off and don't even realize that you fell off. It can happen. It's real. The Most High says your ways were perverse before me. But the Most High had enough love and kindness that he still held a conversation with him because he gives us all opportunity to return to him. Watch what happens with Balaam when this takes place. Read on. Watch what happens. Watch how humility sets in.
And Balaam said unto the angel of Yah, have sinned, for I knew not that thou stoodest in the way against me.
Did he argue with the angel?
No.
Did he tell the angel he was wrong? Did he say to the angel, angel, you don't know me? I just met you. Did he?
No.
Not once. What did he do?
Humbled
he acknowledged
himself.
his wrong. And he humbled himself. And a lot of us got a problem knowing that. When we hear something that we don't want to hear coming from somebody that we don't think know us or understand us or appreciates us. How the little kid gonna tell me what I should do and should not do to him? If he's right, he's right. Read on, please.
Now therefore, if it displease thee, I will get me back again. And the angel of Yah said unto Balaam, go with the men, but only the word that I shall speak unto thee, that thou shalt speak. So Balaam went with the princes of Balak. And when Balak heard that Balaam was come, he went out to meet him unto a city of Moab, which is in the border of Arnon, which is in the utmost coast. And Balak said unto Balaam,
Let one of the boys do it.
And Balak said unto Balaam, did I not earnestly send unto thee to call thee? Wherefore camest thou not unto me? Am I not able indeed to promote thee to honor? And Balaam said unto Balak, lo,
Stop right there. Did y'all hear what just happened? Balak said, didn't I call you to promote you to honor? You know, that's what most men live for. To be promoted to, hey, I'm Big Prince. Look at me. Hey, can't tell me nothing. A lot of men live to be promoted. But Balaam was living to please the Creator more so than to please man. This is an important message. And we should all let this sink in. Stop worrying about pleasing flesh and blood. And worry about pleasing the Most High, the King of all creation. Sometimes you got to separate yourself from flesh and blood when that flesh and blood doesn't walk in righteousness, and you know it. You know it. But you're so busy trying to please them and satisfy them and keep them happy and keep them comfortable with your actions and your thoughts. When in reality, it does something inside of you because you really want to be a righteous individual. You really do. So you want to stand right before the Almighty. So how can you please flesh and blood and yet be right before the Almighty when flesh and blood is evil? You know what I'm saying? But yet we do, don't we?
Yep.
So thereby we're sinning against the Creator. Understand what I'm saying to you. Thereby, when you work on pleasing flesh and blood and you know flesh and blood is wicked, that individual is wicked, you can't serve two masters.
That's right.
One or the other, but not two.
That's right.
And Balaam said unto Balak, lo, I am come unto thee. Have I any power at all to say anything? The word that God putteth in my mouth, that shall I speak.
That's how we got to walk. What the Most High say to us, that's what we have to do. Read on.
And Balaam went with Balak, and they came unto Kiriath Huzoth. And Balak offered oxen and sheep and sent to Balaam and to the princes that were with him. And it came to pass on the morrow that Balak took Balaam and brought him up into the high places of Baal, that thence he might see the utmost part of the people.
Now, he took him up to this big place. What was that? Was that Peor? He took him up into this big place that he might see what of the people?
The utmost part of the people.
You know what that utmost part says? He took him up to that place so that he could see the end of Israel. Our end. Remember too, when I first started, I said he was going to see the present and that day and time, the past, the present, and then the future. He's going to actually see the end of us as a nation. And when he sees the end of us, he's going to give a prophecy. And I'm going to try to slow down on my interpretation so much so we can get to that part. He's going to give a prophecy that a lot of us don't even know was a prophecy being given. Let's read on, please.
Balaam said unto Balak, build me here 7 altars, and prepare me here 7 oxen and 7 rams. And Balak did as Balaam had spoken, and Balak and Balaam offered on every altar a bullock and a ram. And Balaam said unto Balak, stand by thy burnt offering, and I will go peradventure unto the Most High. Peradventure the Most High will come to meet me, and whatsoever he shows me, I will tell thee. And he went.
Hold up for a second. Hold up for a second. And I want y'all to try to answer this if you can. Why was it important that he said to Balak, build me here 7 altars with oxen and cattle? What did he say? What did he say? Bullock and cattle, bullocks and oxen, right? And we're going to do this sacrifice to the Creator, so be. We're going to do this. But yet, he will go over there to commune with the Most High. Read that part again.
Balaam said unto Balak, stand by thy burnt offering, and I will go. Peradventure the Most High will come to meet me, and whatsoever he showeth me, I will tell thee. And he went to a high place.
You stay right here. I'm going to go over here and talk to the Most High. Why? Somebody tell me why.
He's not praising the same God.
That's I like that one. That can very well be true. Anybody else want to tell me something?
Maybe because the Most High wasn't present in that, what
Okay.
he was doing.
Okay.
It wasn't for the Most High.
All right. Any other ones?
Seek further instruction.
Yeah, but why couldn't he see? Why couldn't he do that all right there?
By
in
the altar.
presence? Huh?
Why couldn't he do it by the altar?
Yeah.
Because
Why couldn't he do it right there?
because it wasn't clean. It wasn't where the Most High.
But Balaam
Set
set it
aside.
up. Balaam set it up.
But did the Most High tell him to?
It wasn't.
Is
It wasn't
maybe
about the Most
spirit
High.
that dwelled within the other people that they didn't possess the correct spirit to come to.
You're very close. But the two of you combined together, the two of your explanations, not that you were wrong,
That's fine.
but the two of your explanations together is the point I'm trying to bring out. We're so busy trying to intermingle with everybody while we do our thing. We don't know the spirits that these people possess. We don't know the wickedness and the evil that they have upon them. We so accustomed to trying to make our thing fit with everybody. This is, they're human there. But these people be wicked. Wicked, terribly wicked. Sometimes the Most High exposes us to their wickedness. And we say, you know what? I'm not dealing with that. I'm going to stay over here. But other people that see it don't understand why you staying over there. Why you staying over there? Sometimes you tell them that it's evil in that house. I'm not going down there. How you know it's evil in that house? Because this and this is what took place. Here it is. If it wasn't wickedness, then what is it? No, man, we got to unify everybody.
That
Everybody,
makes sense.
everybody ain't going to be a part of this.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Some people contain an energy that is not of the Most High. And yet those people who can't see will look at that and not be able to see that these people are wicked. There's a big difference. Balaam could not, although he set it up and established it, every time he go to commune with the Creator, he had to go to a higher place, a separate place, away from them to get the word of the Almighty. And then he'll come back and give a report. He didn't cut the people off totally. He separated himself from them. You understand what I'm saying? When y'all go back and watch this lesson later, it'll make much more sense to you. Because you done got the fullness of the lesson. Then when you go back, you can be like, oh, okay, I understand now. But watch, let's read on, please.
Verse 4. The Most High met Balaam, and he said unto him, I have prepared 7 altars, and I have offered upon every altar a bullock and a ram. And the Most High put a word in Balaam's mouth and said, return unto Balak, and this thou shalt speak. And he returned unto him, and lo, he stood by his burnt sacrifice, and he and all the princes of Moab. And he took up his parable and said, Balak, the king of Moab, had brought me from Aram, and out of the mountains of the east, saying, come, curse me, Yaakov, and come, defy Israel.
Curse me, Yaakov, and defy Yisrael. Keep reading.
How shall I curse whom the Most High has not cursed?
What it say?
Right?
What it say?
How
can
shall I
he
curse
curse
whom the Most High has not cursed?
So if he couldn't do it, as powerful as he was,
Right.
what makes us think that somebody in our present day, a witch, what they call a witch, or a warlock, can do anything to anybody except the Most High allow it to be? But the society in which we live will teach us that this thing is possible. The Most High is saying that it's not. And here we have a perfect example that it's not. He said, how can I curse what the Most High is not cursed? How can I bring anything against that which the Most High is blessed? You have to understand where you fit in with the Most High. And once you walk in that confidence, the rest of the earth will see your spirit and understand and acknowledge who you are. But you have to see it first. Read on, please.
Or how shall I defy whom the Most High has not defied? For from the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him. Lo, the people shall dwell alone.
He's talking about us right now, y'all. From the top of the rocks, I see him. What is the top of the rocks and the top of the hills? What is that representing? It's representing what? What's the mountain? What does the mountain represent?
Like the highest level of people.
That's right. The governments. From the top, they know who we are. You think they don't? They know who we are. It's us who don't know.
Right.
Read on and watch what happens.
Lo, the people shall dwell alone, and shall not be reckoned among
We
the
should
nations.
dwell who? Where?
Alone.
What? Alone. That's a command. That's saying that that's what's going to happen with the house of Israel. Ain't nobody going to want to walk with us. We're going to dwell alone. But the problem is we got to come together in order to be able to be alone. One or two little individuals ain't enough. We need the collaboration of most of Yisrael, not all, just most of Yisrael, so we can dwell alone. What does that mean? That means there's going to come a time where we're going to be sovereign in our own selves, which means we're going to have our own water, our own energy source as far as electricity. We're going to grow our own foods. What we're doing right here is just the beginning of some great things that's going to take place. This is just the beginning. I would pray that it takes place in our lifetime. But we're going to dwell alone no matter what is going to happen. You want to say something else?
I just wanted to add, it kind of seemed like it's like that's a decision that you gotta make. Like if you just look at the way that the world going,
That's right.
it's like if you want to be a part of it, if you want to be in a party, then you gotta do certain things to initiate yourself. And
That's right.
if you don't want to have to do them things, then you gotta have to do it for
You
yourself.
gotta be alone. That's absolutely correct. Good analogy. Read on, please. Now this is a prophet. Oh, I'm sorry. He was a false prophet. Read on out.
Verse 10. Who can count the dust of Yaakov in the number?
Who can count the dust? Our offshoots, our offsprings. Who will be able to count them? Wasn't that the same prophecy given to our father Abraham?
Okay.
Read on.
And the number of the fourth part of Israel. Let me die at the death of the righteous, and let my last end be like his.
Stop. He said, who can number the dust? And then he says, and who can number the what part?
The fourth
fourth
number.
part.
The Most High said 2/3 should be what? So that fourth part. Who knows how many that's going to be? Who can number the fourth part of Yisrael? Isn't that what he says? Let's pay attention, fam. This man was prophesying about what's taking place with our people. A lot of these prophecy was written in other places in the book. You guys got to tie it together. Read on, please.
And Balak said unto Balaam, What hast thou done unto me? I took thee to curse mine enemies, and behold, thou hast blessed them altogether.
Balak got mad. He said, I gave you all this money. You're supposed to be cursing my enemy. But yet you blessing them. All right, let me take you to this part over here. Maybe you can see another side of them that's evil.
Right.
Now, each one of these places that he takes them to is a different dispensation of time for our development. Each one of those places. Watch what happens. Read on.
And he answered and said, Must I not take heed to speak that which the Most High hath put in my mouth? And Balak said unto him, Come, I pray thee, with me into another place from whence thou mayest see them. Thou shalt see but the utmost part of them, and shalt not see them all, and curse me them from thence.
He is showing him different times
Right.
of our elevation throughout our history. That's what's being displayed here. Read on. Watch this.
And he brought him into the field of Zophim, to the top of Pisgah, and built 7 altars, and offered a bullock and a ram on every altar. He said unto Balak, stand here by thy burnt offering while I meet the Most High yonder. And the Most High met Balaam, and put a word in his mouth, and said, go again unto Balak, and say thus. And when he came to him, behold, he stood by his burnt offering, and the princes of Moab with him. And Balak said unto him, what hath the Most High spoken? And he took up his parable, and said, rise up, Balak, and hear. Hearken unto me, thou son of Zippor. The Most High is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of a man that he should repent. Hath he said,
Stop.
Not him.
This is a man prophesying of what's taking place in Israel. And as I said, he's going through different dispensations of time, speaking to the house of Israel. The first thing he says out of his mouth was what? The Most High is not a what?
Man.
I don't know if y'all hear me.
They don't.
Yeah, I know they don't. He said the Most High is not a what?
Man.
Nor the what?
Son of man.
So what that's trying to say to everybody that's practicing idolatry today, call themselves Hebrew Israelites.
They wrong.
Read on, please. Where is he at? He in different portions of our history. Read on, please.
have he said, and shall he not do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good?
That means the laws ain't going nowhere. The prophecies of old is going to come to pass. Read on.
Behold, I have received commandment to bless, and he hath blessed, and I cannot reverse it. He hath not beheld iniquity in Yaakov, neither has he seen perverseness in Yisrael. The Most High, the Elohim, is with him, and the shout of the king is among them.
Did y'all? I don't know if y'all hear and feel what I hear and feel.
Yeah.
He said the Most High is with us. You know how that's supposed to feel? To know that the Most High is truly with you.
Yes.
The energy, the confidence that you have, knowing that the Most High is true. I don't know. See, a lot of y'all still young. You haven't experienced adversity, real adversity in your life. Real adversity.
Okay.
When everything around you look like it's coming against you, and you ain't got no way out.
Right.
And you turn to the Most High and say, Elohim Yisrael. So luckily, you on your knees and you crying and you begging and you pleading. And when you get up off your knees, the Most High made a way. You be like, how? How did that happen? These people, this thing was just totally getting ready to annihilate, obliterate me. And the Most High made it happen.
Yep.
This is a feeling like it's uncomparable to anything
anything
you ever felt in your life.
That's right.
So when it says that the Most High is with you, and you know the Most High is with you, oh man, you feel super strong.
Yep.
Nothing can conquer
Yep.
you.
Unconquerable.
So understand how that man must have felt, Balak, when he was told that the Most High was with us. So that means there ain't nothing he can even try to do that's going to hurt us. Read on, please.
Verse 21. He hath not beheld iniquity in Yaakov, neither has he seen perverseness in Yisrael. The Most High Elohim is with him, and the shout of a king is among them. The Most High brought them out of Egypt. He had as it were there the strength of a wild ox. Surely there is no enchantment against Yaakov.
There's no what?
Enchantment.
There is no sorcery that you can do against Israel. None. You
right.
can't. You know what? The problems that we have are self-inflicted problems.
That's true.
Self-inflicted. The situations that we're faced with are self-inflicted. You know, the oppressors had us for over 400 years. This is true. And the oppressors has abused us for over 400 years. This also is true. They have taken our minds from, we're not even close to our right mind. We're not even close. If I pick my brother up and give my brother a kiss on the neck, what's the first thing you think? You see what I mean? But that was loyalty, honor amongst men in our ancient culture.
Right.
But the Europeans have taken us to a place right now where we show honor to each other, and it look like, because they got them little fruit cakes and fairies running around. Yeah.
Yep.
No, I ain't doing no, man. You don't believe me? Look at the scriptures, how our father had Abimelech to take an oath before him. He made Abimelech put his hand under his, what man put his hand under another man's fire unless that man got something fruity going on. You understand?
Right now.
They have stripped us of all who we were. This is why a woman today can lay down with 50 and 60 men and find no problem with it. Women in the ancient days, those who were of that order, very few went off and did things like that. The majority would never dishonor themselves like that. Most of them would die only knowing one man their whole lives. You can't find that today. Oh, 7 and 8. You had 8? Oh man, you're still a virgin. Yeah. You know what I mean? But in the ancient days, that's where we were. It was a detestable thing for a woman to have 25, 26, and 27 men. Today, you'd be lucky if you find one above the age of 25 that ain't half 50.
5-0? You gotta move from Philly, man.
Right.
Life did you live?
5-0?
That's that Philly life.
See, my brother know what I'm talking about. All y'all want to be in denial all y'all want. It don't matter. It is a sport today.
No,
It is a
it
sport today for women to lay with men.
is. It is.
They call it what? Liberation.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
See, I don't like that.
Yeah, and you know what? It's actually a good thing. It's actually a good thing that y'all not familiar with what I'm talking about. It's actually a good thing.
Need to take a shot.
I know one woman who was a Hebrew Israelite. If she didn't have 100 bodies, she didn't have one. And she got several of them while she was in the law. I'm not being disrespectful to my women. I'm just telling you.
The truth.
And she did all that with fringes on.
Wow.
With fringes on. That's how bad it is.
She probably took them all.
Understand what I'm saying to you. So now if a woman has gotten that diverse, how bad is the man?
Man, worse. Horrible.
You understand what I'm saying? There are a lot of men today, there's a lot of men today that don't have a wife or may have a wife but feel like they can go out in the streets and do whatever they want with
Pick up just
anybody
anybody.
as long as they don't marry them.
Making whores.
Making whoredoms out of the women. I don't care what nationality she is. Because a lot of men are under the impression that if she's a white woman or any other Japanese woman or even an African woman, I can sex her and I ain't got to marry, I ain't got to do nothing with her. And keep it moving and off to the next one. And then off to the next one.
Unrighteous.
And then off to the next one. This is reality for a lot of our people.
They unrighteous.
That's right. But that's evil in the sight of the Creator.
Yep.
And a lot of us haven't gotten that understanding yet. Catch us up where we at, please.
Verse 23. Surely there is no enchantment against Yaakov, neither is there any divination against Yisrael. According to this time it shall be said of Yaakov and of Israel, what hath the Most High wrought? Behold, the people shall rise up as a great lion and lift up himself as a young lion.
We should do what?
Rise up as a great lion and lift up himself as a young lion. He shall not lie down until he eat of the prey and drink the blood of the slain. And Balak said unto Balaam, neither curse them at all, nor bless them at all. But Balaam answered and said unto Balak, told not I thee, saying, all that the Most High speaketh that I must do? Balak said unto Balaam, come, I pray thee, I will bring thee into another place. Peradventure.
He's going to take him where?
To another
He's
place.
going to take him to another place. He's going to see another side of us. Another portion of us is going to be exposed to him. Read on. Let's see what happens.
Peradventure it will please the Most High that thou mayest curse me them from thence. And Balak brought Balaam to the top of Peor that looketh down toward Yeshimon. And Balaam said unto Balak, build me here 7 altars and prepare me 7 bullocks
Same
and
instructions.
7 rams.
Build me
Balak-
here 7 altars with 7 rams and 7 bullocks, and I'm going to go over here and commune with the Most High. And then I'll come back and bring you word. Read on.
And Balak did as Balaam had said and offered a bullock and a ram on every altar. Chapter 24.
Something about that number 7. But you know what he did? I don't know if you paid attention to this, but each offering, each altar had 2 sacrifices, which meant was 14.
Right.
Each altar had 2 sacrifices. Read on.
And when Balaam saw that it pleased the Most High to bless Israel, he went not, as at the other time, to seek for enchantments, but he set his face toward the wilderness. And Balaam lifted up his eyes, and he saw Israel abiding in his tents, according to their tribes. And the Spirit of the Most High came upon him.
Wow.
And he
No,
took up-
no, stop. You're reading that too fast. He went and he saw Israel.
Splendor.
Man, beauty. He saw Israel abiding in his tents. Wow. Can you imagine this? Honestly, I don't know if y'all really get the full of it. But can you imagine a time that will come where we get to live in harmony, and unity, and peace, and we all living together in righteousness?
Okay.
The balance just going out throughout the nation. This brother's not against this brother. This sister's not against this sister. You know, it's beautiful, but it can be right now. We can do that right now. We have to first know that we can do it. And we have to move in that confidence. Read on, please.
Verse 3. And he took up his parable and said, Balaam, the son of Beor, has said, and the man whose eyes are open has said, he has said, which heard the words of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open.
Fell into a trance with his eyes open. What does that mean?
You went into
Think about it for a minute. He was falling in a trance, and yet he had his eyes wide open. That's a deep form of concentration. That means he was in total control of all of this. All of this. Read on, please. I don't know if y'all ready to go there. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
How goodly are thy tents, O Yaakov, and thy tabernacles, O Yisrael.
The Most High is pleased with us. How goodly are thy tents and thy tabernacle. Read on.
As the valleys are they spread forth, as gardens by the riverside, as the trees of the line, aloes, which the Most High has planted, and as cedar trees beside the waters. He shall pour the water out of his buckets, and his seed shall be in many waters, and his king shall be higher than Agag, and his kingdom shall be exalted.
It's talking about us. Our king should be higher than Agag. Our kingdom should be like fabulous. We're going to spread it into different nations and all types of things as we maintain control of the earth. Read on, please.
The Most High brought him forth out of Egypt. He had, as it were, the strength of a wild ox. He shall eat up the nations, his enemies, and shall break their bones and pierce them through with his arrows. He couched, he lay down as a lion, and as a great lion. Who shall stir him up? Blessed is he that blesseth thee, and cursed is he that curseth thee. And Balak's anger was kindled against Balaam, and he smote his hands together. And Balak said unto Balaam,
He getting angry because he can't do nothing against us. Read on.
I call thee to curse my enemies, and behold, thou hast altogether blessed them these 3 times. Therefore now flee thou to thy place. I thought to
Get on now, you hear?
I thought to promote thee into great honor, but lo, the Most High has kept thee back from thy honor. And Balaam said unto Balak, Spake I not also to thy messengers, which thou sentest unto me, saying, If Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the commandment of the
He
Most
said,
High.
didn't I tell you that don't matter what you say, I can only tell you and do what the Most High tells me to do. Read on.
To do either good or bad of my own mind, but what the Most High saith, that will I speak. And now, behold, I go unto my people. Come, therefore, and I will advertise thee what this people shall do to thy people in the latter days.
Oh, man.
And he took up his parable and said, Balaam, the son of Beor, has said, and the man whose eyes are open has said, he has said, which heard the words of the Most High, and do the knowledge of the Most High.
Now, the Creator says, if a prophet speaks in my name, then you know I sent them if that thing come to pass, right?
Okay.
Every time he speaks, he says, this is what the Creator said. Show me that in the Greek writings in the New Testament. Show me one time where it says, this is what the Creator said.
right.
One place in the New Testament where the Creator said anything. Now, I ain't bashing my brothers and sisters that's into the New Testament.
Just
I'm
dropping
giving you
some
something to
jewels.
think about. Just giving you something to think about. Read on.
Verse 16, he has said, which heard the words of the Most High, and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. I shall see him, but not now.
Oh! Y'all listening?
Yes.
What else he say? And I shall hold him.
But but not 9.
but not 9. Read on. Who you talking about, y'all?
Yeshua.
Us.
There
I
shall
don't know if
come.
y'all feel what I feel, man. Y'all just too quiet. This junk had me on fire. I'm telling you, these are promises of the Most High, what He's going to do for us. All we got to do is hold on. Remain loyal and faithful. It's going to be hard, family.
Yeah.
It's going to be a struggle. But all you got to do is hold on. No matter what. This is what the Most High promised to you. This is going to be your outcome.
That's right.
They're going to talk about you. They're going to spit on you. They're going to try to beat you down. Just hold on. And the Most High going to bring you through. Watch this. Read on.
There shall come a star out of Yaakov, and accept
There's going to come a star out of Israel. Ooh. This is prophecy. Speaking about a Moshiach. Did you know that? This is prophecy speaking about a Moshiach. And what's going to happen?
And a scepter shall rise out of Israel.
And a scepter shall rise out of Israel. What we talking about? We talking about them last days. This is what's going to be. Them last days is right now. Y'all know that, right?
Okay.
Read on.
And shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Seth. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Yaakov shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. And he looked on the Kenites, and took up his parable. Strong is thy dwelling places, but thou puttest thy nest in a rock. Nevertheless, the Kenites shall be wasted.
All of them meeting defeat at your hand.
Right.
Read on.
Until Ashur shall carry thee away a captive. And he took up his parable and said, Alas, who shall live when the Most High doeth this? And ships shall come from the coast of Kittim, and shall afflict Ashur, and shall afflict Eber, and he also shall perish forever.
Read on.
And Balaam rose up and went and returned to his place, and Balak also went his way.
He got mad. He done now. Read on.
Chapter 25.
All right, we're going to stop there. We're going to stop there. Yeah. I need that to sink in, fam. Because the Most High is trying to tell you something. Excuse me. Remember the part where I said the only calamity that Israel meet is at Israel's own hand.
That's right. Yeah.
If you can fathom a time where Israel, Yisrael, is all living in harmony, the only thing preventing that
It's us.
Israel.
So no matter what the enemies or the oppressors are doing over there, over here, we should be serving the Most High.
Hallelujah.
And we can do it, fam.
Okay.
We can do it. Everybody has to be willing to humble themselves in true humility.
Yeah.
To do, as the sister said earlier, walk in your integrity. And if we can do that, there's nothing that can be withheld from us. The Most High has given us a promise, and that is that we shall rule the earth. The earth, not just Goshen, not just Sparta, not just Georgia, but the entire earth. And we will have embassies in each place running and making sure that things go the way they're supposed to go.
That's right.
So I'm going to leave y'all with that. Till the rebuttal.
Before we have Rulak sing the Psalm 150 and Mario say the closing prayer, I think he did a pretty good lesson. What y'all think? That was actually one of my favorite lessons I ever heard him do.
You say that every week.
No, that's top two.
Every time I get a lesson, you say the same thing.
That's the top two. I'm very proud. Don't even feel the way that he went over the time because it was a good lesson. Otherwise, I would have gave him a time sign. But it was a good lesson. There's a couple things I want to point out. Did you notice? There was a point where he said, in verse 20 it says, Behold, I receive a command to bless. He has blessed, and I cannot revoke it.
Right.
That's him talking. He said, I couldn't curse him. He said, because I received the commandment to bless. He said, he has not beheld sin in Yaakov or iniquity in Yisrael. That's the reason he couldn't curse him. That means, however, if the Israelites were in a place where they were committing sins, then the cursing would have been approved. There's a lesson in that.
Yeah.
There's actually a pure portion of history as you go on. You'll see that Balaam actually told him that. He said the reason that he couldn't curse him is because there was no sin in him. That's why he sent them
Said the girl.
a bunch of naked Hamites. And then they had them tied into that. That's what happened.
That's what happened.
He sent them a bunch of naked Hamites. And then since their religion involved things that men seem to want to do, the men fell into it easily. And then the sin was found in them. Then they were allowed to be cursed.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have power to determine whether or not we're blessed or cursed. That's a major key.
Yeah.
We have the power to determine whether we are blessed or cursed.
That's
Sometimes
right.
we pretend that that's on other people, almost like Balak did, right?
Deep.
Another thing that was very important. Did you notice when he spoke about the portion with the ass? Y'all all found that really funny, right? And the ass was seeing things that Balaam couldn't see. That reminded you of the portion, where was it? In 2 Kings 6. Y'all remember that? When
Yeah.
Syria was attacking Israel and Elisha was there.
Yeah.
And then the young man was scared. He was like, oh, how can we ever beat them? And the prophet said, oh, Lord, please open up his eyes so he can see. Because there's more that fight for us
Then we know.
and fight for them. So when he opened his eyes, what did he see? He seen a bunch of chariots of fire and horsemen and angels with their swords out. I mean, sometimes we can't even perceive the full reality. Y'all hear me? We don't have the capacity to even perceive the full reality. But we still walk around sometimes with God complexes. We gotta humble it down a notch. We gotta humble it down a notch. Another thing that I like, you notice he was talking about the witchcraft. And there's people that give witchcraft too much power, or they even say things that are negative, originate from something outside of the Most High, but I beg to differ. Because if you saw in Job, did you notice that Ha-Satan had to answer to Ha-Elohim?
That's right.
Ha-Satan had to answer to Ha-Elohim. You don't believe it? Then why when he said, why he had to check and he said, what were you doing? I was
Right.
walking on to and fro in the earth. If you
Right.
if you didn't have to check in,
Right.
then I'm answering questions.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Wow.
There's only one source of power. Never get it confused, man. I was talking to this lady, you know, people slide into my DMs. It was like a witch type. It was like a witch type lady.
was a
Because I
slide.
did a post about, like, you know, different experiences I had and said, anybody see any spirits or demons
Oh,
or
yeah, we
things like
talked about
that?
that.
And she was like, yo, you need to tap into that because there's different sources of power that can help you with your life, right? And I thought to myself, well, I like my life better than I like your life, so I'm not going to take your advice.
Exactly.
Right? Another thing I've noticed, you ever see anybody that's a witch or into that and you actually think, yo, they living good?
No.
It doesn't happen.
No.
That's because they're looking for lower sources of power.
Right, to get
When there's
them
only
good.
one real source of power.
That's
so
right.
even if humans have power, and humans do have power, they only have power from the real source of power. So why would we talk to an underling when we could talk to the boss?
That's right.
Go to the front door.
Right, we don't do that. We don't talk to. The only thing that reminded me, it says, I form light. It's the Most High talking in Isaiah 45:7. He said, I form light and I create darkness. Y'all remember that?
Yes.
He said, I make good and I create evil. Y'all remember that? He said, I create evil. Everything answers to the Most High. Whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not, whether we understand it or not, everything answers to the Most High. Everything comes from the Most High because it's just like polarities. There's a positive, there's a negative. You need a negative and a positive to have a balance, or the battery won't even work. Life is the same way sometimes. It says, I'm the Lord who does all these things. And before we ended out, the other part that I thought was really important, if y'all can stand up before we close out and she sings. Another part that I thought was really important. Did you really catch the whole area? It was the Israelites. They was in the wilderness, right? But the people, y'all got to be with me right now. The people in the high places was plotting their demise. Y'all not with me. The people in the high places was plotting their demise, and the Israelites had no idea it was happening. Did y'all realize that the Israelites had no idea that the people in the high places were plotting their demise? Did y'all realize that the Most High still saved them? This is the reality we find ourselves in now. There's people in high places plotting our demise. But they still got an answer to the Most High. And they can't curse us. As long as we stay righteous. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So she said the prayer. She said,
Hallelujah. 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 Please, O Most High, accept our prayers today, O Most High, as we praise your name, O Most High. Please, O Most High, put in our hearts to do right, O Most High, and praise your name, O Most High. Please, O Most High, forgive us for our sins that we had committed before you, O Most High. Please, O Most High, be with us, O Most High, as we go through our weeks, O Most High, and allow us to make the right decisions, O Most High, throughout our weeks, O Most High. Toda y'all for allowing us to have the ability to walk, O Most High. Toda y'all for giving us food, O Most High, shelter, clothing, O Most High. Toda y'all for all things, O Most High. Please, O Most High, continue to watch over us, our shield, protect us. I want to thank you for all things and everything you give us. Because when I'm with you, toda y'all for everything. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
We pay homage.
We pay homage
to the power of Abraham.
to the power of Abraham,
To the power of Yitzchak.
to the power of Yitzchak,
To the power of Yisrael.
to the power of Israel.
Hallelujah.
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 Praise the mighty God.
Praise the mighty God.
Amen.